Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Nigerian Space, DNS. I hope everyone had a great week. Today we're just speaking on actions speak louder than hashtags and accountability in Nigeria. Just based on everything that's going on in the world right now. Again, if you're not aware what's going on, I really don't know where you're at. So there's a lot of hashtags, the Black Lives Matter movement, most especially, but behind the hashtags, what actually happened. So that's what we're aiming to discuss to see how we can, finally breathe as a Black race and especially as Nigerians, what we can do, what suggestions and ideas we have in general. So I'll just throw it straight out there. Anyone that wants to go right in, anything you want to update us about, yeah, let's discuss really.
I guess I'll just try to buttress the point again, the topic for today. Like it is, I think I'm getting tired. Like today I saw the video of what happened in Atlanta where the cop shot another black man, and I'm just tired. I got really riled up this morning. Like, why? When are we gonna stop? When is this gonna stop? Like, how do we keep? Is this hashtag even making any sense? What is gonna happen after this? After all the hashtags, after all the protests, we still have this going on. And I don't want us to keep talking about just America and all that, but in a way, I want us to reference it back to Nigeria. Like my own anger was, I'm not mad. I'm really mad at the fact that I decided I can't stay in Africa. I can't stay in Nigeria and be safe. That's one reason why I came here to stay in America with my family. And this is happening. I'm not respected. And back to our country in Nigeria, if they hadn't been messing up, if our leaders have not been messing up, if issues like the issue of injustice is not going on, issues of rape, of UA, issues of harassment, where one stupid uncle would harass your daughter, I wouldn't have said, okay, let me move back, let me move to America and try to be safe. And now that I'm in America with my family, I'm not even safe. Like, I'm mad at African leaders that we've been shouting all this while and nothing has happened. And I'm also mad at the fact that even right here too, we're still shouting, we're still having hashtags. We've created Black Lives Matters. We created what's the hashtag for? Bring back our girls.
Mm-hmm.
After all
Hmm.
that, they were bringing back the girls in bits. Where at what point do we start holding the government and holding people accountable? Like, come on, man! It has to go beyond this. It has to. When are we gonna? I don't even know. I'm tired. I don't know if anything is even working. How do we move on? That's my question. I don't know. It's tough.
I
Yeah,
I
it's
I
tiring.
completely agree with you on that on the part of the when are we going to start making people more accountable to what they do. And I think for that to actually start, yeah, I think it has to start from the top. We have to start making government officials at the position of power. We have to let them know that, okay, this is your responsibility. If you mess up, you're gonna be accountable. Like, you might be removed from your position. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, for example, that recent shooting in Atlanta, the police chief of Atlanta has resigned. You
in less
know,
than 24 hours.
in thank you very much. In less than 24 hours, for that to happen in Nigeria, maybe rapture will follow.
It
No, I'm
cannot
not.
You know,
happen. It cannot happen.
It cannot
thank
happen.
you, thank you very
They are
much.
not scared because they feel like they have control.
Yeah.
That's the problem, you know. So I think they have to start making them accountable for their position. Okay, you're in a position of power. You have the authority to make a difference. That is why you are there. But
Mm.
it's like they don't realize their responsibilities. Maybe they need to start creating JD for these people, job descriptions. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
They do have it, but they don't read it. They don't read it.
They don't respect it. They actually
Exactly.
just
They
don't care.
they
Just like
don't
you just said,
respect
like
it.
you're in a position of power where we the regular people we're trending the hashtag, we're holding up the placards, and you two, you're doing media ops, you're doing photo ops, and also holding up hashtags, holding
Exactly.
up placards.
The
How?
other day,
Make it make
Tinubu was
sense.
holding up placard. Tinubu, like, this man is so influential in that country that is beyond like my realm. But you're holding up a placard like the rest of us. We are not in the position of power. You
So
understand?
what we did
You are in
today
the
too, now.
position of
Such
power.
one is on today
Right.
too. The governor of Lagos today, I saw him too. Like, governor, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's the placard? Placard is not going to do anything. Use your platform.
True.
You are like, you're there. You can make a decision. You can say that, okay, I mean, this man can influence any decision in Lagos State.
Right.
Is that powerful?
Yeah.
You understand?
Even
So I think
Nigeria,
even Nigeria. So I think until they start using their platform to influence decisions, and the same thing goes with our celebrities as well, our so-called celebrities. I think leave the protest to us, the masses.
Right.
Go and use your platform.
exactly.
But they won't call
understand?
them. They won't call them for show if they do that. Oh.
No,
They
no.
have to carry over life. That's the problem. You know,
That's
That is the problem because
life is
we
like
are
this.
so
You can't
selfish.
buy
We are
the
so
hand
selfish
that- you
and
can't buy the hand
greedy.
that feeds you. That's the thing. You
Exactly.
can't buy the
That's
hand
the
that feeds you.
problem. They are thinking about their bank balance. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, these people's bank balance is already nice and looking. Yeah. But they also forget about the masses as well. That's their problem.
Their fans,
So
they
it's
need to claim
yeah.
that they're fans.
So my whole opinion is until people of position, start using their platform. Yeah, people like I'm talking about the celebrities. Then when it comes to government officials, government officials need to be held accountable. We don't care how high up you are. If you know you can't control a state, if your assistant
Step down and get out.
step down, get out of the place because
Yeah.
how can rape be happening in your state every week? Rape every week, and you are not
Every
in.
week.
We are looking into it. We have some suspect. You're a liar. You don't have any suspect. You don't have anybody in
It's
custody.
even good. It's suspect
Or
is
they'll
good.
find somebody that doesn't matter and they'll just throw them.
Exactly. You find someone that doesn't matter.
They
Is
said
it-
they
you know,
found the suspect with fingerprints. Come on, man.
please, like
Fingerprints.
we are not stupid now. It's becoming so paramount that if something like that does not happen in a week, you're like, kilo shele. Something has not
And
happened.
the one that we
Are
hear,
we
that's
okay?
the one that we hear of. There are a lot
Thank you very
happening
much.
under the table that we don't even know of. That is happening
Exactly.
around. That
Exactly.
his family is so embarrassed to talk about it.
It's true.
And even
It's-
police are embarrassed to talk about it.
Okay.
There's something that Wale said about with regards to Tinubu, and you said this man is one of the most influential, most powerful. He can make any. I feel like that's one of where the problem lies. Just like Esosa mentioned last week with the police and how we've given them so much empowerment back home.
Right.
Because why is it that one singular entity
Right.
in Nigeria yields that much power? How is it that we've given them so much power? So I feel like that's where we come to where we hit a wall in Nigeria, is that the foundation is so, like, it's almost as if the whole country needs to be
Right.
wiped away so that we can rebuild, because so many things are fundamentally wrong. It's just
But it's the people that are
honestly.
enabling this. We are empowering them and we are enabling this type of behavior. I feel like from the public side too. You know, if we are saying, sir, yes, thank you, sir. Everything that they do for us, we are doubling and we are cutting and everything. So we are giving them the respect that they are using to create that space for their behavior, you know. Because they won't behave like that if we do not give them that respect. They won't feel like they are
Babasa.
on top of things, you know, if we don't give them that respect. But as soon as we see money, we see them as an opportunity for us to advance ourselves. And then it's not like, okay, good riddance to bad rubbish. We'll just follow them however they go. So it's our own mentality towards those people. It's the way we behave towards them. That's why they do whatever they want to do.
That's the thing. That's another thing that I think they're doing in Africa, in Nigeria in particular.
Yeah.
They have oppressed the citizens so much that the citizens don't have a voice. They've oppressed them with poverty. It's like the hand that feeds you, like they dangle food or whatever you're gonna eat in front of you. You don't have a choice. Just imagine a dog and you're dangling his bone right in front of him. That you're gonna have to jump for it, or you're gonna have to.
But that's what poverty
do
causes.
some.
Yeah,
It's not their fault.
Exactly.
Let me-
That is how
let me-
they're controlling us.
Let
I
me
won't
jump
say
in.
us because that's how they're controlling the citizens. They
Okay.
dangle your rights, your benefits in
Agree.
front of you. The things that you're supposed to get, your benefits gone. They'll be dangling lights and
Mm-hmm.
good roads in front of you just so that you can do what they want you to do for them. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't.
Let
It's
let
just
me
like that.
let me jump in on this. And before I jump in, let me just read comments from Whitney. She said she's so tired, and she said, "I love the way the mayor asked the police chief to resign right away. That was swift. That's something that can, like Wale said, it can never happen in Nigeria. I'll use what's it called, Orji Kalu as case study.
Oh, please. Oh, Jesus.
You embezzle X amount of billions of naira. You are supposed to spend 7 years in jail. You spend 5 months. That's one. Your seat as the
He
chief. Your seat,
supposedly spent 5 months.
yes,
At home.
which I guess at home.
Is that-
At home now.
Then your seat was still vacant as the chief whip of the house, and you're busy collecting your salary. You come back and
And
resume.
allowance.
No, you just don't come back. You get released. Every politicians come to celebrate you. Welcome, this, that, and you come back to the house. And even the security guys, the people carrying the mace, are busy giving you salutes. Sean, sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And once again, let me now circle back to what Shukma said. You know, we're saying, okay, they've so made the masses so poor that we don't our sense of decency is out of the window.
Yeah.
There are two sides to the coin in terms of this, and this is why I say so. India is like Nigeria in terms of their politicians and the way people are poor. I've seen a video where a politician who they voted in, he didn't do shit. He now came back soliciting for a second term. The beating that they gave him, as in they lynched him. As in they lynched him seriously. He came. They waited for him. When he came, they were busy raising hand. They beat him, pushed him inside mud.
Wow.
So that is what you
like
say
a movie.
people. Yeah, so that is what you mean by people are tired. In my own opinion, I don't think Nigerians are tired.
They're not tired.
Because even after you collect bag of rice, the person gets there, you don't see the person again till it's time for election.
Exactly.
Then you should know. Let's come off it. Let's call it spade a spade. Let's stop giving excuses like, okay, they've made us so poor. You can see these things. You don't see the person for 4 years. Then he comes back a few months to election to say, "Oh, I want to what's it called? I want to elect
I want to
me."
complete what
Come
I
on.
started. I want with it. What did you start?
Yeah.
When you didn't start anything.
They started half of the road. They
And
did
the
one
thing
lane.
is, just
They
like
need to
we were
close the second
saying,
lane.
that as citizens, we need to hold our leaders accountable. But even on social media, even the ones that are, visibly accessible on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever even if they're not the ones behind those accounts, when you go there to leave your comments as citizens, you don't put fire under them or Baba do giveaway is what you be seeing in the comments. So to a certain extent, people say Nigerians deserve the leaders they have, and to a certain extent, I'm like, at what point do we really get tired? Because we keep saying we are tired, and I do understand that there is a systemic oppression to the point where
Exactly.
you
That is the word.
become grateful for the
For the
crumbs that are being
grains.
thrown at you.
Yeah.
It really used to irk me, and the grains, it really used to irk me when you see statuses like on Twitter, on WhatsApp statuses, and people are like, "Wow, we had light for 2 days."
Right.
It makes my blood boil.
Yeah, like,
But
whoa, what do you want, a
that's
medal?
the mentality.
Right.
That's just the mentality. In the
Yeah,
whole state, when elections are coming up, one governor will quickly do roundabout and 4 roads leading there. Wow, our governor is really performing.
That
Performing
one.
what?
Case study Surulere.
Wait.
What's his name? I
Wait.
keep I can never forget that guy.
Hold on.
He did sidewalk for us. He did roundabout. I was
Hold on.
Surulere then. And everybody
there's a
was shouting like, "Oh wow!" I was like, what is he doing?
Hold on. There's a comment here. BMG boss said, "I don't agree that Nigerians are not tired. If you tell us why. I really want to hear why. Why do you think they are not
do you
tired?
know what? No, wait. Sorry to jump in.
Go ahead.
It's just something that I would say I won't say Nigerians are not tired. I would just say Nigerians don't think about tomorrow. They think about what they will eat that day.
Mm.
You understand?
Right.
So that is, and politicians are exploiting that mindset.
Yeah.
They are exploiting it like mad. Like, okay, they're like, what? They've not been monitoring what we've been doing for the past years. Let's just sort them out for today.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they know that who will be monitoring any project. There's no one to monitor any project that they have to be doing.
Wale, let me ask you this. Let's say you have a shorter route to go get cookies, and anytime you pass that route, you always get robbed. If you are tired, you will take the longer route, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you are tired, if you are not tired, you say this one is shorter. Let me just go, knowing the fact that you will still get robbed.
I get what you're saying. That's a very good scenario, but
so I don't think Nigerians are tired yet. I don't think so.
Like I said, they need to change their mindset.
For Nigeria, let's be honest, that's what it is. We're
not exactly.
I don't think it's that we're not tired. It's just we've been oppressed for too long that we're scared. I feel like majority of Nigerians are scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fear is there.
You don't have avenues.
There. That's for sure.
You don't have avenues. You don't have avenues. We've seen even those that we're fighting, the politicians that we're fighting, they get killed off. So it's almost to the point where so who are you? What do you want to go and say? Even your parents will be telling you, are you okay?
Yeah, but I get it. I get it. But the thing is, okay, when it comes to election time, the majority of people that vote is the people in the local side.
Yeah.
The grassroots. Those are the people that vote for them. And do you know why they vote for them? Is because they've been bribed for that moment. So they've been given a lot of incentives. All right. So they've given them maybe bags of rice, things like that. So how long will a bag of rice last for? Maximum 2 months. When that finishes, the politician has already been elected. He's not going to remember one family that he gave bag of rice. He's not going to give them another bag of rice. You understand? Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that we need more people. We need more votes in that country to give voice. And that vote has to come from the working class. All these working class people, they will sit at home. They're saying, oh, I'm spending 200,000 naira on petrol every month because there's no light. Did you vote? Did you go out and vote? No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You understand?
And during the time of
election, instead of
staying in your state and voting, that's when you know that time to visit them in
your vote will definitely make a difference. It will definitely count. So your vote will add to the grassroots one.
Let's not forget that they rig election too.
They rig election everywhere in the world. That is normal. They rig it anywhere in the world.
The bribes, to your point, Wale, that
what
election.
Did you say? So sorry, I missed the first thing of what you said.
No, I'm saying that to Wale's point, that those elections are rigged by those same bribes that people are taking. You understand?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's the bribery and it's the personal moral compass within each individual to say, no, I'm not going to take this bribe. Because if you don't deal with that personal moral compass and you have 1,000 people taking the bribes, then of course the constituency or whoever is representing you is not going to change. But it has to be a collective personal moral commitment to yourself to say, no, I'm not going to take this bribe. Yes, I'd rather my children starve. I'd rather my household starve than have somebody in a place of power that is not representing me fully. And that's the mentality that we do not have in that country.
Okay, so let me read a few comments before you jump.
Yeah, I was about to say you need to read the comments because I have a reply.
Okay, so
let me. I've been reading the comments. Let me make a reference to one of it and then use it to tie it to my own angle. I like what BMG boss has been saying. Like, I just believe the poverty and illiteracy ratio is way too high. And then Esosa was saying something about Nigerians that are really scared to go out and fight. And BMG boss asked, why wouldn't they be scared? Which brings me, and then he said, when they are killed over the Naira road bribe, and he said, BMG boss says, can you guarantee their safety if they go out to vote? That brings me to another point, which I want to make. it is so sad. I'm not gonna lie. It's so sad that I think Nigerians are tired, but the fact is also there that they kill innocent people like Suya, and you will just die for protests
nothing.
and for nothing. So that's another fear that has been put. There's no rule of law in Nigeria. So forget the old. I understand that part. We are tired, but they can't fight too. I remember back in Nigeria, then I was in Nigeria then, and there was a protest. They wanted to subsidy protest or something. Tell everybody, let's go out and march. I remember talking to a cool couple of my friends. Maybe we'll go out and march. We go tomorrow. We were gingered up while we were drinking at night. Oh yeah, the next morning, texting boys. Oh yeah, now when I dinner, when I dinner.
Yeah, but
they're not showing up.
Because
they're scared that they're gonna kill them.
Shukbo.
Yeah.
If we keep using that as an excuse, where in history, look at anywhere where there was revolution that people were not sacrificed. I'm not justifying, I'm not trying to listen, but let's call it spade a spade. It's inevitable for a revolution, some people will have to be sacrificed.
And that is the point I'm trying to make.
If we're not ready for that,
Nigerians, we are the number
if we're not ready for that,
number one cowards in the world.
Yes,
Nigerians are cowards. Like we can shout about it. Even us right now are shouting about it. They say, yeah, a lot of us, let's go to Nigeria and go and protest. We'll pay for your flight. I know we won't go. That's when I will remember that I just had a baby. I can't really go now. I gotta let's be real with ourselves.
To your point, though, Shukwu, the thing is that here the military is also trained to die for the United States, right? So, okay, we have people that are representing us that are willing to die. So, okay, us citizens, we say, okay, we don't want to die for America, but we have a military that even wants to die for America.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, I'm not sure that the Nigerian military is trained to die on behalf of Nigerians.
That's the thing. That's the thing, and it goes back to BMG's comment as well when he says, "Can you guarantee their protection?" Yeah. And the thing is, I get it, but at the same time, like the Nigerian army, the Nigerian police, we can't really tell which side they are on. However, it's just like I think Shutz or Esosa mentioned last week. These people have family members. If we're all on the same page, we're still going back to this mental slavery. I know it's hard. I know maybe on the first day there might only be 5 people, but the same way we're all like, who's gonna go first? Who's gonna go first? I don't know how we're gonna get around this, but something needs to happen. And the only way is because even if we're saying who's going to protect them, these police members, they have families. It's just that we're at that point where we need to hold it before we can hold them at the top accountable. We need to hold the people around us accountable.
The thing is, what I believe is there are 2 sides to this thing. Nigeria Army and the Nigeria Police. I believe the Nigerian Army. I believe they are doing their best.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to separate this Nigeria Army and Nigeria Police. They are doing their best, but they are not being supported by the government. Okay. Currently, Nigeria Army, they are fighting Boko Haram seriously in the north. Yeah. You need to see the ammunitions Nigerian armies are using. It is appalling. It is appalling is an understatement. Yeah. You understand? Because Boko Haram are getting their ammunitions from so many places. Yeah, you understand? They have from foreign support, from Syria, from so many places. They are so good. And these guys are trained, our Nigerian army boys are trained, but when they see an ammunition more powerful than their own, what do you expect them to do? You understand? A lot of Nigerian armies have died, soldiers have died, though. A lot that we don't know about.
We don't know about.
Yes, I have a friend that her husband was shot recently, but luckily he survived it. You understand? So that one, I think they just need more support from the Nigerian army. I know there's a budget, everything for Nigerian army, but God knows how they are dealing with that budget. Only God will judge them. You understand? Then when it now comes to Nigerian police, I think that the police force just needs complete and absolute reform from the top to the bottom.
100%. Yeah.
You understand? From the top to the bottom, because how can a policeman shoot a driver because of 100 naira bribe and he will get away with it?
That's part of the accountability we're talking about.
You understand? That's exactly
we're talking about.
Exactly. If I was the commissioner of police for that state, I will make sure that policeman is brought to account.
Now that we're talking about military gossip, I know a couple of military people. I grew up around them. My mom worked for the military for a while, so I kind of respect the military. They are underpaid. They are under equipped, and I know they are trained well. They are very disciplined. Talking about accountability in the military, you can't mess up and you won't suffer for your mess up. I
Yeah.
know the military, if you mess up while on duty, they don't care your rank. They will throw you in the guard room and punish you. The Nigerian police, do they do that? I don't think so. They are not even trained. They don't even even their training. I don't think is as tough as the military training. Even up to the level of NMS. I know boys that went to Nigerian military school, secondary school. Even their secondary school. My brother was going to go to NMS to get into secondary school. They will drill you like you're about to be a soldier. They're gonna drill you like that. My brother came back with his knee, he hurt his knee just because he wanted to get into secondary school. So our military, I know, is really good. Which brings me to a point I want to also mention. I was thinking I was going to mention at the end, is democracy what we even need in Nigeria?
That's
Is
a
it
good point.
really what we need in
Some
Nigeria?
schools that have maybe, I don't want to say been successful.
They're just using democracy to chop money.
Right.
Okay, so let me read
know.
a few comments before before anyone else will address anything, so that we don't have a backlog. Williams Fisayo said, you guys ran away. Your parents ran and they were tired.
That's
BMG BMG boss. He said, okay. I guess Shupo addressed that comment. Omolara Oyekunle said, even if I feel better about the system, I think of my safety and that of my family before I decide to raise my voice.
right.
That is the mindset of the average Nigerian who is tired. Then she goes on to say, you guys are discussing from a point of view of comfort.
We are not comfortable. They are killing us here.
Definitely not comfortable.
It's comfortable. It's comfortable for us.
Yeah, so
but they are killing us here too. We're black.
Yeah, okay. Then BMG boss says, where is it? He said, I think you guys need some living in Nigeria on the program. Someone living in Nigeria on the program. Omolara also said, yes, we need a revolution, but who will build the cats? BMG said, revolution cannot happen if there is no unity. True. I totally agree with you.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. BMG boss also said, before I give my life, I would like to know that it will mean something. It will lead to a protest or so. He also said, I will just die and get retweets for some days, and that's all. That wouldn't yield results that we want. So why give my life? Omolara said, I agree with you, Wale, as regards to the police. They are a sorry case. Whitney said, we are saying that now, but the time where we are in Africa, none of us did anything to I can't see what that word is.
I think help.
Yes, to help. Okay. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Law is not enforced the way it is here. Look at what happened to that journalist. Let me in terms of talking about accountability. I saw another video. I'll probably share with you guys. I'll have to look for it. I think it was somewhere in Asia, maybe China or South Korea or somewhere. When you get elected into office, they'll take you on an excursion as to where your officials, the ones that have been caught not doing what they are doing or embezzling, stay. They'll take you through that excursion. You'll see. Then, you go ahead and do your duties. Meaning, if you get caught or you don't do what you're going to do, you know where to end up.
Oh, like a camp for corrupt leaders.
This one is not camp. This one is prison. This one is prison. And so if we keep talking about accountability, where do we draw the line? Because we keep pointing at the government. Don't forget that the government were put there by the people. And now we're also saying, Nigeria is so poor, the citizens are so poor that you can bribe them with bag of rice. So how do we draw the line? That means this is a serious issue, because now how do we figure it out?
Personal accountability.
Well, sorry, that's what I was going to say, is that going back to last week's episode, I remember when you threw out that question, and I was like, this is a heavy question. Like, how do we fix things back home? Again, the foundation is so weak. Like William Sayo mentioned that we ran away, so did our parents were tired. Running away is actually not an issue. Believe it or not, people of all ethnicities, all nationalities travel all around the world looking for a better escape. Even the Brits go to other parts of the world looking for a different form of life. That's not the issue. The issue is, what are you coming back to? As a British man, you can carry your bag, go to whatever country. Life gets tough over there. You're able to go back home because home is fine. So leaving your country is actually not the problem. Even if Nigeria was good, we could pack our bag. That's why we have our passports, visas, and accessibility to travel to wherever we are able to. The issue now is, how do we make our home country comfortable so that even when the white man is telling you go back home, it's no longer an insult. It's like, yeah, I actually do want to go
They
back
don't even have
home,
to tell
but
you, and you
going
go
back
back.
Most of
home
us
now,
want to go back home. I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of
we
us
actually do want to go back home. We are actually tired. Believe it or not, we are actually
Mm-hmm.
tired. You might feel like we're sitting in our comfort zones. I kid you not. It's just that you can't be going into every detail. It's
Exactly.
not
Oh.
easy
it's
out
just now coming
there.
out
Also, it
of
really
our
isn't.
discomfort.
It's not
Yeah.
even about. And even with regards to protests, you can see the way Americans stood up around the world. People are standing up, making all kinds of protests. Just like TMG says, if as a Nigerian, if you die, we mentioned it last week also. If you die, God will not let your death just be in vain because you're
It will just turn to another
fighting for
hashtag.
your country. It really will. It
It
really
will just turn
will.
to
Once
another
the pressure
hashtag.
is on them, there's so many from everything from the police force. Because how do you even put pressure on the police to apprehend a suspect when they don't even have the tools that they need? They don't have forensic kits. I think with regards to the we are tired hashtag for the rape, I think last week one police person came out and said yes, they've done whatever they need to do. They got fingerprints and blah blah. And following that, they released a 10 point document talking about what they're going to do going forward. So the hashtags do
Oh
work.
God,
But what
I,
surprised
I don't even know
what
what to say
surprised me was,
anymore.
I think number 8 of those 10 points. Number 8 of those 10 points was something like they will provide free test kits to hospitals. And I'm like, how do you think you're actually doing something? The leaders are so clueless that even when they think they're doing, they're
Yo,
really not doing jack. Like
Do you
they're
know
really
what?
not doing
Do you know
anything.
what? Do you know what makes me laugh about that country, or when they say things here that they want us to hear? It's like they think everyone in that country, we are all
Dumb.
illiterate, that we
Yeah.
don't even know what they are talking about. It's like I don't. Sometimes I'm like, do you people think we are not educated? We actually, you guys, we are educated in this country. Oh. Like I'm educated, and you're talking to me like like a baby. Yeah, okay. Look at what Diola just mentioned now about what's it called, testing kits and whatever. Like, okay, what did you even train to do the testing?
No,
You
before you talk
understand?
about the testing kits, I was telling the other during the week
What
that,
did you
do
train?
we even have a social security number? How do you trace the person?
Why are you
After
talking
you
like
test
this
the
now?
person,
Social what?
how do you trace the person? Do you have data? What data do you have on the person to be able to know that, okay, oh, it was this person? Have you? I don't even know when they collected my fingerprints. Where did they save it to Nigeria? Where's the data? How is it linked to me? You first said maybe BVN. Okay, BVN is for those who are older. Oh. It's not for kids that are right on the streets.
BVN is only for people that have bank
I
accounts.
have bank account too. How many people did not have bank account?
How many people have bank accounts in Nigeria?
I think
50% of Nigerian indigents don't have bank accounts.
offender registry. Did you guys hear about the sex offender registries that they are trying to promote?
Oh man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But my thing is, how are you going to register sex offender? I'm just thinking, like a lot of us, we are thinking, okay, so how are you going to know that somebody is a sex offender if you're not tracking them? So how are you going to track them without the technology? How are you going to track them without the data?
They'll put it on a file. It will be in a file on the paper, and rats will eat the file.
You know what?
Honestly,
You know what?
the rot is so deep. It's so deep, and it really is heartbreaking because, like I said, going back home should not be. When we were growing up as well, I used to hear people say, in order to live in Nigeria, you have to have money. Why should I be a citizen of my own country, but I need to have money to live there? Like English people, like Brits, they travel everywhere. When you don't have money is when you come back home more.
Yeah.
If I
Yes.
have money, I can afford to live anywhere. Why should I need to have money to afford to live in
In
the
my own
country that
country.
I'm from?
Yeah.
That it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's sad because just like last week, I really don't understand where the solution is going to come from because the rot is so deep. Talking about the sex offenders register, how do you track it?
That's
No,
not
When
you
I was in
know, you
yeah.
know
Nigeria,
what,
when
you
you
know what.
started,
That's
yeah.
that's even taking things far. That's taking things far. Let us
Mhm.
start from the bottom first. Yeah, for what I believe, for changes to actually happen in that country, our leadership has to
Mm.
change. Our
Exactly.
leadership has to change
Exactly.
because I'm sorry, but if you notice, or if you guys have you guys noticed that for the past maybe 8, 10, 12 years now, technically our leadership has been the same, even though we've had
Only
different
10,
people,
12 years.
No, no,
even
no,
though
Since
we've
my
no.
had different people
lifetime.
in power.
Wale, since 1999, since democracy,
Since
look
my
at it.
lifetime.
Thank you very much.
The same set of gang.
Thank you very much. It's the same set of gang. You understand? Yeah. It's so appalling that I think for changes to actually happen, it comes from the top. It
Yeah.
has to come from the top.
Mm.
I'm sorry, I don't mean it in a bad way, but
Yeah.
they need to get rid of some people. Some
Mm.
people have to go.
Thank you.
And those people,
Mhm.
they are like the likes of our Tinubu that we just mentioned now. I'm sorry, because they want to be in control of every single thing in that country. How long do you want to
Mm.
be in control of it? How many money do you want to have?
Thank you.
How much money do you want to
Mhm.
have in your lifetime
Mhm.
that you're actually going
Mhm.
to forget about the country entirely?
No, they need to have enough so that they can be
Mhm.
blessing us like Abacha. Even in debt, they can be
Even till
blessing us.
death, this man is still blessing us from his grave. Is
He,
that
Still blessing Nigeria.
wait. He just blessed us, but we still went to collect loan.
Oh
Few
yes.
weeks after.
Oh yes. We still went to collect loan.
I think me personally talking about the
It's
solution.
honestly
Bad.
it's so heartbreaking. The foundation entirely needs to, and I just don't know how it's going to happen in Nigeria. You want to, when they introduced that SIM registration thing initially back then, like it just always looked like I was always anti everything they were trying to do in Nigeria, but it didn't make sense to me logically because how do you say I'm registering a SIM? I brought you proof of address. You have no way of tracking that that's my address. You have no way because there's no database.
It's
You
true.
can't put
Yeah.
my details into a system. You can't put my details into the system and actually see. So what do you want to collect information for? And even then, I think the first time I did a SIM registration, I just had to get someone, still one of my friends, please bring your house something, NEPA,
Mhm.
whatever. Let me just register it. Something that you would not be able to do in
It's true.
saner climate. So for me, it's like from every angle, okay, you say hold the leaders accountable. Okay, and then what does the justice system now do? I think
Mm.
during the week, Efe and Chups and I, we don't even know what the age of consent in Nigeria is because
Hmm.
Google will tell you 11. Some people on Twitter will tell you it's 18. Some people will say it's 13. Like
Yeah.
even us as citizens, we don't even know. We're not even empowered to even know the law.
No,
What
no,
does
Allah.
okay? Hold them
Mm.
accountable. What
Yeah.
gets done to them? Because the only way you can hold someone accountable is when you know the system, when you know the process, when you know what's going to happen, and then you can now start looking at things like, okay, how do we change this? Okay, they said so and so, if you murder someone, you only go to prison for 1 year. Nah, we're not having that. We need to. But if we don't know what the law is, how do we actually hold them accountable? How do these things? It's
Yeah,
Let me
but I get
I'm
what you're saying.
tired,
But yeah, okay. You
honestly.
said you said about the law, yeah. But someone is at the realm of this law. Someone is at the top. So if
mm.
that person
Mm-hmm.
is not actually doing his job, nothing will change underneath. You understand? If the IG, if the police inspector general is not doing his job,
Can I
the ordinary police on the road or even commissioner of police, he won't be bothered as well now.
But they need
Am
to
I right or wrong?
they need some collective action though. That's the thing. Like you can't
Mm-hmm.
you say let's change the government, but we need to do
Yeah.
it collectively. But to do it collectively, you need to get the individual mentality first. You know,
mm.
if we're saying let's change the government, let's kill people. We can even end up putting the same people back in power because we are already
Mhm.
conditioned to that type of system, which is exactly what has been happening.
My own point, which I think is gonna be my final point because we're running out of time, is this. And I've always been saying we joke about it with my friends, like I think we mentioned it when we started off this show back then, that Nigeria copies a lot. We copy a lot of things. Nigeria, we copy, oh, this is how they are tackling COVID, let's do it. This is how they are doing this, let's do it. Or you don't really look at your people. Is it working for my people? Is this what they really need? Which brings me to my final point about all this old wahala that we're dealing with. Is democracy, is it really what we need in Nigeria? Like, is that the form of leadership that we need? Let us break it down. Let us break it down to back then when we had kings, when we had monarchs. Is that, break it down to the grassroots. Let's take it, deal with your people. When you had monarchs, when you had Oba and the kings, if you mess up within the community, they will take you before the god of the land. And right there, if you say that's what you did, Thunder, Amadio, all those things will fire you. People will be scared. They will leave right. Now you're not bringing rule of law. You're bringing Oyibo things. And you're saying, I'm not really saying that we should go that route, but I'm just saying we need to look deep to what we really work for us. You're talking about federalism. Is federalism what we really work for Africa, for Nigeria, when we're not even united? Federalism is something that has to do with unity. You're talking about, even if you look at America, they have state police. They have everybody that is, they have state police. Everything is state, is handled by the state, independent state. Is that what we need in Nigeria? Let's do that in Nigeria. Our rule, whatever democracy we're practicing in Nigeria, is not working.
It's not working.
Let us scrap it and find something else to work with, that will work with us. If we want to give the kings the power to handle their grassroots, let us give it to them. If you want to give the governors the power to handle their state, so that we can know that, okay, if this state is messing up, just like the Atlanta mayor did, and asked the police chief to step down, yes, let's give the state that power to be able to handle their state. Let's give the local government the power to be able to handle their local government. I don't know whatever rule of law we want to apply. That is what we need to change. That is what we need to change. All this, we'll vote the right person, we'll do this. No, how do they select the Obas? How do they select the local government chairmen? If you select your local government chairman, look for someone that has lived in that community for a while, that you know that Omawani, that we know in their house. If you mess up, everybody will come to your house. They know your family house in Sule, they know your family house in Ikate, they know your family house in Lekki. If you they know where to come and meet you. Like, so those are the things we need to go into. There's a word for it, it just keeps skipping my mind. It's called community policing, community leadership, community, and that is Africa. That's one thing about Africa that is big about Africa. You see community parenting, like Thomas Sokwe, if you give birth to a child in Africa, like, it's the whole community that takes care of the child. Let us do that same thing. Yeah, let us take care of our own community ourselves. So forget all this, and we're practicing democracy. It's not working for us. That is not what is going to work for us. We're practicing federalism, the federal system of government. It's not working for us. Stop copying what America is doing. Stop copying what the world is doing and trying to patch it. That's what we've been doing, patching it there, left, and it's not working this way. We didn't do it right. Let's patch it well. Let's go and vote next week. We'll vote for the right person.
Okay,
that's my final opinion and point.
Before Esosa and Wale give their closing remarks as to how we move forward or hold people accountable, let me just read the last set of comments. Omolare said, "Why does Wale keep saying that country? Is he no more Nigerian?" She also said, "I agree that people need to go." I believe she was agreeing with Wale and Esosa on this one. We need to repeat what happened in Ghana with Jerry Rawlings. Yeah, and Seraphine said, "You can't change what you tolerate," meaning if you're tolerating what is going on, you can't change it. So I guess, Esosa, you can also give us, your remarks.
So I think, just to sum up everything, I love that we want to change the government, and I love that we want to change our leaders and hold our leaders and things accountable. But I really feel that if we do not take the time to hold ourselves personally accountable, our day-to-day things, in the way we deal with each other in Nigeria, in the way we deal with our people in the markets, in the way we deal with our family members, we cannot come and say, okay, let's go to a leader now and hold that leader accountable. We are so focused on being book smart and reading and going to school, but what time and what resources do we use to better ourselves individually?
Exactly.
Right? because you need to have some personal development moves for yourself. Because when you are personally developed, then you can now say, okay, let me focus on the things that I need to change because I have changed myself. So I think it is up to every Nigerian, whether we are abroad, whether we are at home, to take personal accountability in the way we move and in the way we interact in our communities, because that's what's happening here. Because a lot of us, I think in the United States, we are not just book smart, right? We're not just going to school just to go to school. We are learning about our culture. We're learning about our government. We're learning about our environment. We're trying to treat people better. And when we start to treat people better, it will just go higher. It will translate. So for me, I'm always about the grassroots approach to things. I'm never about the top down, because we put those systems there. We allow these things to happen. So we just have to take personal responsibility and advocate for ourselves.
Let us empower the grassroots.
Right. So that's all I have to say about that.
Makes sense, man. Thanks. That's perfect.
Thank you for that.
Very cogent point.
Just my own closing remarks here. Like, first and foremost, to the comments, I'm still Nigerian. No, apologies for saying that country. I'm still fully Nigerian. I love my country. I'm still fully Nigerian. You just do our citizenship, but it is what it is. On a more serious note, though, I completely agree with Esosa. Like, this thing starts from the grassroots, because I believe we need to find a way to change the mindset of the grassroots. Because let's be honest, I mean, if you look at it here, like I said earlier, it is the grassroots that votes. Working class, very, very few percentage of the working class votes. Majority of the grassroots, they are the ones that put these people in power. If we can find a way to change their mindset, or to let them realize the consequences of putting a certain individual in power, or what they're going to gain, then they might be able to think twice before voting for someone. You understand? Because, I mean, let's be honest, like, it's always going to be democracy in Nigeria. I get where you're coming from, Shupo, yeah, but that country, like Nigeria in particular, yeah, is always going to be democracy. But for that democracy to actually happen, as in for us to enjoy it together, yeah, we need to find a way to change the mindset, and hopefully also we need the working class as well to go out and vote. You can't just sit in the comfort of your house because you have a nice job and things like that, and you say, "Oh, you are comfortable. I don't need to go out and vote because I have money to do this. Even if something is not working well, I can go out and buy petrol or diesel for my generator." What about people that cannot afford it? What about people that don't have the resources to do this? You understand? So, and also the working class are always at home, sitting there and complaining about the present administration, the leaders that they're not doing anything, blah blah blah. Okay, but what did you actually do to influence the change? Like, did you go out to vote? Because I believe, in as much that they rigged the elections, vote still counts. It still counts, because they rig elections everywhere in the world. Did they not rig election in Florida for Bush? They did. Okay, so election is being rigged everywhere in the world. So in a nutshell, all I'm just saying is, let's find a way to change our grassroots, convince them, talk to them, see if their mindset can be changed. Okay, fine, they are illiterate, but they still have brain. Oh, let's not forget it. They still have brain. They can comprehend. They know right from wrong. Maybe they're just not as educative as we guys, but they still have the brain. So if we are able to convince them and let them know that these are the consequences, these are the things that you might enjoy or you might not enjoy, then maybe changes can start from there. So, but God help us. God help us.
That's just, I mean, just to,
well said.
This is where my point of empowering the grassroots, empowering the kings, and empowering the right people. But the king will tell the people that, okay, vote for this person. This is what is wrong. Who is the monarch? Who is the ruler of Edo State where Uwa was raped? What is the community doing about it? That is where I'm coming from. Like the kings and the community leaders, where are they when things like this are going on? They are the ones that need to hold their community responsible. The government should not even disturb them if they find the community should be the ones to look for the person that raped who are. They can't tell me that within that community they can't find the pastor of that church or
impossible.
find
They
a
know.
way. That is our
Yeah.
own African database. So if they're going to
Yes.
bring out the jazz and let us use it and conjure it and find out whoever did that rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
But no, accountability, they wouldn't do it because, like
They
you said,
won't.
they won't do it. Just be like, let's just leave it. And that's my own angle of accountability. Our community ourselves, we need to start holding ourselves responsible.
Wait, yes, because it just has to stop.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it's becoming boring now. Like we're not even looking good in the world. Like it's like we are the center of rape now. Like there's a pandemic going on. There's another one going on in Nigeria. You understand? I mean, there was one that I even read today in the morning that another lady got raped in a church in Ibadan. Imagine in a church again, a church of all places.
What's that association of Christian church? Can
Can.
Where are they?
I don't get
Are
it.
they not looking into it?
I don't get it.
Why do
Like
they call the
a
church that, okay, why
church,
is this happening in your church? Where is the pastor? Yeah, come and give us a report.
and
Where are they?
they're saying they can't fish out that individual in that community.
Exactly.
Oh, come on. There's a special place in hell for some people. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Indeed, there is. Is there any closing comments or?
I think everything has been.
Do we have any?
No, I think everything has been touched.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just for me to give my closing comments and thank everyone for coming back. Just to buttress, I think everything has really been said. To buttress on Esosa, Shooks, and Wally's point as well. Let's just start holding ourselves accountable because we can say the government this, but ourselves as citizens, what are we actually doing amongst ourselves, amongst our friends? Because if we're saying we are the leaders tomorrow, we're not too young to vote, all of that. The average Nigerian who is my age that I speak to, the average Nigerian really doesn't hate oppression, is what I've come to discover. They just hate not being in the position to oppress. So we need to change that mindset. Because you speak to your friends, let's be honest with each other, you speak to your friends, they all say the same thing. And when I make a reach there, make I chop my own. We also need to change that mindset because nothing is going to change if we don't actually have our moral compass set right. Yeah, everything else has really, really been said. I'm tired. Educate those around you where you can when you're having those conversations, because everything is not just about being a keyboard warrior online giving your hot take. When you're in the comfort of your home, in the comfort of your friends, the conversations that you're having, you don't understand how far those conversations go. Like some people really just don't know. We say that at a certain age you should know right from wrong, but again, there is a conditioning that grows up with you, and unless those things are broken, it will continue in all aspects of life, whatever position you hold, whether you become a doctor, if you're used to abusing women, that will be your opportunity to abuse them because now you're in a higher position of power. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. I don't know if my morale has been up there today. I really, really am tired. Hopefully things can change. Don't give up. We keep saying we're tired because we really are. And even though I mentioned earlier that our Nigerians really tired, I know Nigerians are tired. That was just some failed attempts at
An average
banter.
Nigerian is
But I know we're
depressed, man.
tired,
We're
but we
just
cannot give up. We really, really cannot give up. We have to keep fighting. Like I mentioned last week, Rosa Parks said no, and Rosa Parks said no on that bus that day, but it took 385 days for that no to be heard. It's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. It may not be something that happens this year, but we have to learn to start fighting this fire with fire. Let's put a flame under these politicians. Let's hold our local leaders like Chooks has mentioned. Let's hold at least within our communities. Let's be able to hold them accountable, even if we don't have direct access to spending and the like. But yeah, if you haven't followed, please follow our social media handles, subscribe, like, share with your friends as well, and have a productive week ahead.
bye everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Mhm.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.